Before we go anywhere with this video, I wanted to ask you guys, would you guys be more interested in seeing a top 5 unit over top 10? Had a discussion with my boy Dingy. It was very short, but in a lot of cases, it's really the top 5 that decide the meta, and anyone below that, you're really only using if you don't have anybody in the top 5. So just for consideration, would you guys be interested in just prioritizing the top dogs in the meta, or do you like seeing the other options as well? But you guys know it, we're back with another tier list. This is for the new ultra super villain Goku Black Rose, end of April, but we're in May now already. It's a meta tier list, meta implying most effective tactic available. So it doesn't just mean because somebody's above somebody, they are better than that person, but they might work better in a way that serves teams that are more advantageous to play in PvP right now. So it considers factors like element, how they support their team, etc. Just assume that all legend rarity characters are at 2 to 3 copies pulled, assume ultras are at 2 to 3 copies pulled, legends limiteds are at 9 stars, and sparkings are at 14. That's about average if you invest into them, and that should keep you level headed going through with this tier list. Let's get into this. So as per usual, we always start with the fan service and the honorable mentions. The fan service is just a bunch of characters that people like. They're not good enough to make the tier list, but we're still going to give them some screen time, otherwise they would never be mentioned otherwise. You get what I'm saying? So we got UI Goku Rose, we gotta put my boy UVB. God Vegeta, unfortunately he's not good enough to be top 10 or honorable mentions, so we're keeping him in the fan service tier. Moving on, we got the honorable mentions, which is a bit more serious. Now for you personally, you might want to have any of these characters in at least the 10th spot. They're just not good enough to make my top 10, but if you had them in the 10th spot, maybe even the 9th spot, I wouldn't even argue with you. You know, a lot of people like to argue specifically one specific place, and I don't think that's like a wise thing to do. There's no point in doing that because everybody's gonna have slightly different perspectives. So yeah, if I was to move anybody up, I could see arguments for maybe this red Bardock. This red Bardock is a good counter to yellow Bardock, yellow units in general, because there's quite a few. Blue Piccolo, if you're running a regen build, I could see that angle as well. I've seen a couple people running Cell as well, and a lot of people still value the KO guard and Super Saiyan Goku if you have him on the higher start end. So yeah, I could see arguments for these guys. They're just not going to make my top 10, but they are still valuable. No order is very important, so I just like to put things in color order. So blue, green, purple, yellow, red. There's no greens, unfortunately. I might have to consider fusing Super Gogeta up here as well, but I just don't know who I'd take out because I always like to put 7 honorable mentions, you know, 7 Dragon Balls, that type of thing. So yeah, let's actually move into the actual top 10 now. So we're starting with Legends Limited Super Saiyan 2 Gohan at the 10th space. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, he's struggling with team synergy. That's his biggest problem. Because Future has had an advancement with Goku Black Rose, his position for where he was in the meta last like PvP ranked season has basically swapped places with Ultra Trunks. Ultra Trunks had nowhere to go unless you were running him on Hybrid Saiyan, or you'd really be supporting Gohan as that offensive guy. But Gohan right now, for one, he just isn't as defensively sound as he used to be. He's gonna get melted, but he does have the revival. But with Goku Black Rose's disrupt as well, it puts him in a worse situation to just be in overall. So he can still do good damage. The revival can be useful, but defensively he's a lot worse. He still is all round great, but anything you can get from him, you can just get from somebody else on this list while also having a better team. It's just not worth it to run Hybrid Saiyans. Some families have better variants, and at that point you might as well run Saiyans with the characters that exist in this current meta. That's why Gohan cannot be higher than 10. It's not that he's individually worse than a lot of these guys, but if you're thinking about a whole team composition, because this is a 3v3 game, Gohan is not the guy that you want to pick first hand. But it's not that he can't get you results, he just won't give you the best results, especially in comparison to everybody else in this list. So it's really just, he's just falling off, or rather there's just better options and power creep is coming up. So he's staying at number 10. He's not going higher than that, I'm not gonna lie. Best 9, but for me, number 10. At number 9 here, we have Ultra Kid Buu. He's pretty much the same as Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, just for a different team. And I'd simply argue his position on that different team, so it's going to be powerful opponent and regeneration, is more likely for you to see him on those teams than you would see Gohan on like a Sun family. You'd only see Gohan really on Hybrid Saiyans, but Kid Buu, you're going to see him on regen, you're going to see him on powerful opponent. That's 2 immediately. And on regen, he's really a first round pick. On powerful opponent, he's like 4th or 5th based on the other guys that exist exist in the meta right now, but he's still overall super good at what he does. His blue card, he can lock you in with that. He has an ult that does good damage. His tanking ability is solid. He has a very safe element right now because there's not many reds that can take him out. So that element advantage also puts him above Gohan, I would definitely say. All round, I'd say he's more of an anti-meta unit. So it's not really you need him. It's more like he's going to be picking up slack if you don't have a certain character on the powerful opponent team. But if you are running regeneration, you can also get good results to go against whatever exists in the meta, because the meta is very Saiyan oriented right now. So yeah, Kid Buu at number 9. I'd even talk about his combo starting ability with explosive greens. It's very easy to use him. You can be a very fat rat, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, number 9, we've got Kid Buu. Now with 8 and 7, I'm not even gonna bother separating them because they come joined at the hip. We've got Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The Ultra and the Legends Limited, who got a second plat, he already has a Zenkai. Now me personally, right, recently anyways, just my personal feelings, I'm taking the Legends Limited over full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I feel like he just does more damage, even though his element wouldn't serve you more, because right now you want to be countering Goku Black Rose. We all know this, I'm just going to tell you that straight up. But his support factoring for the whole team and the damage he can also do while saving people, it's overall great in my opinion. I feel like he just needs maybe some disrupt and he would be much better. But also the timer counts up when he switches in. It's very annoying to get around. But obviously 4Q being blue, the ultra one, I mean green, sorry, he counters blue. His rising rush nullification, like for his allies, is super good. Explosive greens to stop combos. After free cards, he seals cards. If he's getting hit, he can also spawn blue cards very easily. So he can be that offensive monster, but I feel like he just needs those Zenkai buffs to really perform at the highest level. He's still really good, don't get twisted. And on any team, if you're running with Bardock, that yellow green team, that team will still do numbers in this meta because there's not reds to really stop the team. So I don't really care who you put above who. I think most people would naturally just go the ultra because they want to counter the element blue, but I just feel like you can't have one without the other. If you're having this guy, you're going to be bringing this guy because for him to get his optimal playstyle, you need to be having at least one GT member on that team, and that's really the con of using Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But then you just add Bardock to this mix and then the team becomes unkillable. But in some cases you want to do damage. I feel like this team's damage, if you don't have the right build, will really be your downfall. So if you're just getting pummeled the whole time, sure, you might not die because of Bardock, the rotations, combo breaking, but are you going to win that game? And that's really depending on the enemy's team, not your playstyle, which is why I kind of feel away. But the synergy here is just way too strong with Bardock to say that these two together are not better than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan right now, who basically has no teams, right? If you're running them on hybrid teams, Saiyans, that's just a worse team than most teams that exist. And even regen, or first man pick, and then powerful opponent 4th or 5th man pick. So these two GT boys, they're joined at the hip. I might even say they're interchangeable. You know, that's pretty much the same thing, however you want to put it. But I think most people would want the green to counter the blue, which is why I have 4Q, the Ultra, at 7 and the Legends Limited at 8. And let's move on to number 6 now. Now Buuhan, I feel like Ultra Buuhan at number 6, he is the true middle of the tier list. I know it's a top 10, so you'd naturally just say 5, but I feel like he's the balance between whatever's below him and what's above him. Being red, he is a very good pick to counter the yellows in the meta because there's literally nobody to break down the yellows besides him and maybe the red Bardock and honorable mentions. But at the same time, he is uber vulnerable against Goku Black Rose being blue, the newest unit in Dragon Ball Legends. So he's in a position where you'd want to use him so you can counter yellows, but at the same time he can easily get one tap by the blues. But what's good about him is if you play him smart, and that's a very big if, the playstyle of you is very dependent on how valuable he can be. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't put him higher. It's too contingent on the player. If you are a good player, right, you will be able to make Buuhan look like a top 3 unit because the way you're utilizing his gauge, the gliding and things like that, it will almost seem like Buuhan can't be broken through. But then if Rose lands one blue card, you could make one mess up, he's literally grits. It's over for him. It's so over for him, you don't understand. It's similar to like the Ultra Instinct units. Once they start falling off, they're vulnerable to anybody that's type advantage over them that can get like literally just nuke them for a blue card or ultimate. Buuhan is literally that case, but instead of it being his gauge, like the Ultra Instinct gauge, sorry. It's this gauge, the counter gauge, that keeps him at bay. If Buhan's counter gauge countered blues, I might argue he's top 2 in the game even to this day, because there's nothing that can really go through him except an ultimate, and there's a lot of prep time, and it's a kind of a one-time thing. Blue cards come and go, you'll never really know when your opponent has one, depending on the unit, but ultimates, you have to actually summon it like on some Maharaga, you know, you can't avoid not seeing that your enemy has an ultimate, so you can kind of avoid that. But blue cards, you can sneak one hit in here and there, and depending on the enemy's playstyle, they're getting boomed. So I don't think he can be higher because he can get one tapped by blues, but I don't feel he should be lower because if you're going anti-meta, this guy will screw you over. The yellows, there's a lot of yellows being used right now. If you're anything but blue, he can screw you over, especially on a powerful opponent team, which he works with one of the best units in the game, Goku Black Rose. And then you can also consider the variations of teams, so powerful opponent with Saiyan half hybrid mix, you know, not hybrid Saiyans, but it's like a mix of both teams depending on how you lead slot things, and that just gives Buhan overall more value. But it obviously depends on your playstyle, which is why he's not going higher, and he's good, so I can't put him lower. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's not getting one tap, like he's not absolute food. I'd nuke him almost 99% is high number, like let's say 85% of the time, but that's because I'm running Rose, you know. If not, I was running Gohan. But if you're not running those guys, for example, you're running a green yellow, you might have a tough time fighting him, or green yellow, sorry, with the 4Q, you know, and Bardock. You might have a hard time fighting him, especially because you're type disadvantaged too. So yeah, that's Buhan at number 6. I feel like anybody rating him higher than really 5, they're doing a bit too much personally, but I guess it's a micromanagement as well. Let's go into 4 and 5. I have it interchangeable next up. At number 4 and number 5, we have an interchangeable. We've got Vegeta and Nappa and Vegeta, and we've also got Legend Super Vegito. Now, this is dependent on what type of approach you want to take to ranked PvP. If you are more of a defensive player, you lay back, you want to make the game go long, Nappa and Vegeta are your guy, and they can also do a huge amount of damage with a lot of immunities post revival. That first life is really just a brick wall, but having that life is nonetheless valuable. But if you want to be a lot more offensive and do damage throughout the whole game, Legend Super Vegito is your guy. Legend Super Vegito is just an offensive guy all through the game. He has survivability as well, but it's obviously not the same as a revival layer and a unit that has a lot better defenses all around. Super Vegito's defenses are his weakest asset, I would argue, but the damage that he can do consistently, the combos he can do consistently, the way he's gonna abuse the ground to high in battle, chaining it with ultimate arts, blue cards, overall he's quite dangerous, you know. He can do a lot of damage and literally destroy your team if you give him the opportunity, if you get him going. You're not really expecting that from Nappa and Vegeta, but it is possible, especially post transform. But mainly you're going to be using them on the back end, and they serve slightly different teams. They are both Saiyans, don't get twisted, but Nappa and Vegeta can also serve powerful opponents with Buhan and Goku Black Rose. But depending on if you wanted to go a Saiyan variation of a team, you can go with Legend Vegito, which is obviously going to be beneficial in the long run. So it's really just a choice. It's a choice for whatever you have and whatever your playstyle is. Even if you don't even care about playstyle, they can both do similar things, just in slightly different ways and at points in the game. So yeah, both of these guys, both being purple is ironic as well. 4 and 5. Some people might think that Legend Vegito is way too high, but honestly, if you've used them, you'll know that his individual value promotes him enough in the meta to be at a top 5 standing even right now. So yeah, let's move on to the top 3 now. At number 3, we've got Ultra Trunks. This guy's value has skyrocketed with this release, Ultra Goku Black Rose, Ultra Super Villain Goku Black Rose, but he's a legend unit. He's crazy right now, especially alongside Bardock, but you're running a future build, and that pretty much spells the top 1 and 2. But yeah, you're running a future build, and honestly, with Bardock in addition, this team is really frustrating to fight, especially with somebody who obviously knows what they're doing. But even if they don't know what they're doing, I'd argue it's the best team available in the game. Trunks, what he does, right? We know he has his final hope slash, and depending on the timing of it, he's going to catch a guaranteed kill. If he does it like maybe over 50 timer counts into the game, he's going to catch a guaranteed kill because most people will be at least half health, maybe more, slightly more, so it's all timing, right? But on the defensive end, this is where Trunks really shines. First of all, being green, he is probably the best unit to counter Goku Black Rose. On top of the fact that he's also one of the best units to be paired with him because they're both future units. Defensively as well, when you're comboing him, he's increasing your cost. Now, why is that very valuable? If your costs go up, you won't be able to combo for long. And if you put that alongside Bardock, who does the exact same thing, no matter who you're comboing on the team, your combo is not going to be long because your costs are going super high. So the only way to really overcome Trunks alongside Bardock is to have overdrive overdrive, and you simply won't have overdrive the whole game, because in that period you do get an infinite key, but you're not going to have it the whole game. And if the enemy is smart, they will simply never let you get overdrive because they will aggress you. And even if they get punished from aggressing you, your combo won't be long because you can't afford all those cards, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what makes Trunks so valuable. He has the endurance layer keeping him alive. His element is pretty solid for this meta right now because he can counter one of the best units in the game. The synergy with one of the best units in the game is outrageous. So running him is really an asset. Last meta, Hybrid Saiyans wasn't really that, but he's literally jumped ship from Hybrid Saiyans and taken a priority on Future alongside another best unit in the game, Bardock, to be able to dominate the game. He's not on the same tier as them, Goku Black and Bardock, in my opinion, and I would say that because he just doesn't do as much damage and he's not as reliable throughout the whole game, but what he adds in addition to whatever already exists with those two units is literally undisputed. And if you run into a team with Trunks, Bardock and Goku Black Rose, you will understand how valuable Trunks is. A lot of people are thinking Trunks is not that good, and trust me, last tier list, I didn't post the video of it, but I didn't post last one because I just couldn't be bothered. Trunks, I was not respecting him, and I don't feel like he deserved to be respected because he only had Hybrid Saiyans. Future was not looking good. Who you gonna run, Future Gohan? But right now, it's looking good, bruv. Shout out Trunks. I know what you can do. The Trunks believers know what he can do, and if you run into Trunks with Goku Black and Bardock, you will then understand the truth. Ultra Trunks at 3, very valuable unit right now, understandably so, especially if you've run into him, but even if you just use your brain, that guy's him, bruh. He's him. So we've hit the 1 and 2 place. We've got Legend Bardock and we've got Legend Goku Black Rose. I feel like they serve each other, but Rose is serving Bardock a lot more. Either way, I think it depends on how you want to see it. It's not really something I really want to argue. If you think Rose is better, that's fine. If you think Bardock's better, that's fine. But I feel like they both have a strong case for number 1, which is why I'm not even going to argue who's better. I'm just putting them both at the top. So let's talk about Bardock first. Bardock, he's the best unit in the game if he's last stand. 100%. It's not even negotiable. Last stand Bardock, nobody can stand up to him. He's going to be insane. His indestructible popping in consistently is already crazy in itself, but just being that offensively dominant when your last stand is outrageous. But even if there is a whole team alive, obviously his damage going up is contingent on his allies dying, but even when the whole team is alive, his damage is still good. It's lesser than Goku Black Rose, definitely. Throughout the whole battlefield, Goku Black Rose is doing so much damage consistently, but there's not really a huge spike in comparison to how Bardock's spike can happen. And honestly, you're gonna lose people in a game. You're not going to play a perfect game every single time, so it's not really the biggest drawback, but it's still something that should be mentioned. But it's more defensive aspect that makes Bardock so valuable. You know, the indestructible making you unkillable unless the game goes to timer counts and then you lose by damage. Bardock's going to be the reason you definitely don't lose. I wouldn't say he's always going to be the reason you do win, but it depends on who the enemy is using. If it's a mirror match, he's more time going to be the reason you don't win, if that makes sense, because you're not depending on him for damage. You're making use of his indestructible, keeping your team alive, versus going out there and being the damage dealer through and through. But if you do lose people, Bardock becomes that damage dealer, so you can then win the game. So it just depends on your approach to a battle. He keeps your team absolutely safe, but won't necessarily be the reason you win, but will 100% be the reason you don't lose. Bardock's indestructible, damage all around, and obviously his element's good. Even safer now because of Rose. Rose targeting reds means that yellows can run a lot safer than they already were running. So naturally, he's got a lot more value now. Last meta, I had him at like a top 3 at best. I wasn't really moving him to 2, but I wouldn't be opposed, and I didn't think he was 1. But now I think it shouldn't be negotiable. Going into Goku Black Rose, his ability to heal below 50% is very, very good. His element in general right now is very, very good. Very few counters to him. Trunks, not the greatest damage dealer, and Goku, he's going to rely on Zenkai Boss, so Rose can do what he needs to do. Endurance is very good, buff cancellation for the squad. Overall, he's going to be a guy that you're going to find not the easiest to break through. If it's 1 copy, you might be thinking like, yeah, he's not that great, but honestly, like I mentioned, if you invest in somebody, you have him at least 2 copies. Rose is that guy that's consistent throughout the whole battlefield. Damage potential is insane with his gauge build up, the damage, the ultimates that he can do. Sorry, he's going to be pumping them out. Blue cards, he's going to be pumping them out. Overall, very scary to be faced with, and let's just not point out the obvious that he can be put together with Bardock and then making the team almost unkillable off rip. And then we've also got Trunks on the team, which just makes the team even more unkillable. And then we go back to what I was saying when I was talking about Ultra Trunks, how the key cost goes up for the enemy as the combo goes on. Yeah, Bardock does that too. So this team overall, all three of them, they just feed off each other, and it's disgusting. It's so powerful, it's so annoying to deal with. All the top rankers are pretty much running it at this point, and I'd recommend you do if you have all three pieces. I personally don't have Ultra Trunks, but Rose and Bardock, I've been putting them together, and my third would probably be Vegito because that's who I've been using. I've tried using 4Q and even Super Saiyan Goku's KO guard, and that's a good team if you have him high stars. I'm gonna say at least 3 copies for Super Saiyan Goku, but now I'm just rambling. Number 1, number 2, Bardock and Rose, and that makes the tier list. You can see everybody there nicely placed. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list. I think the tier list is pretty good and all the explanations make sense. There are some things that I could easily see people wanting to move, but this is where it is for me. In the comment section, give your thoughts. Hopefully you did listen to the whole video so you have my explanations, and then you can obviously go against what I said if you disagree with whatever I said, and that's completely fine too. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.